Hello, hello, and welcome. My name is MiniBetrayal, and this is Factorio Megabase. Today, we're finishing up. So, quick recap. We have spread out over this area, so quite a large area. We have red science and green science over here in this little area up this way. There's red, there is green. We have military science down here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. There's the military science. We have chemical science, or the blue packs, somewhere around here. There it is. And then purple science is up here. Production science packs. The utility science packs is... I always forget what the yellow ones are called. Yeah, they used to be called high tech, but no, utility science packs are not there apparently. Where is utility? I haven't forgotten utility, have I? That would suck. No, utility science is all the way up here. There we go, a little bit of a heart attack there. So there's my utility packs. And space science being produced where I am now. There goes another rocket. 1 rocket per minute. First time I've ever built a base that does that. So, in order to use that science, we need a couple of things. Firstly, we need to bring all of that science to one location. So, I'm thinking here. So, I need some extra rails. We're going to transport all of the science packs from wherever they are now to the new lab with rails. We need to build the lab. And then we need to actually get that set up. And we're going to test it with the follower robot count, because that uses all 7 science packs. So we'll wait for the mining productivity 14 to finish, and then we'll queue up a few of those, see how long it lasts, I guess. Right, so I am over here with the space science. First things first, let's see, I'm going to need a lot of rails for this. I think I might go back home and actually get some more rails. So let's do that. All right, here we are. So firstly, I'm going to turn that back to manual. I think I might just leave this train here for a bit, actually. Now I want to get rid of a bunch of belts. I don't need that many belts on me, nor do I need rocket fuel, actually. In fact, I've got a whole bunch of stuff in my inventory I now no longer need. And we're going to pick up some of these. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I think if I hop into this carriage and disconnect... Yeah, I can roll forward with just those first... Or just that first carriage there. That should be all I need. I will need something to unload with, so I want... in fact, I want a little bit of steel so I can build some more chests to make station buffers. You know what, let's just go and pick that up manually. Right, while I am down here, I will also need to craft a whole bunch of labs. So I need gears, circuits, and belts for that. They're easy enough to get. I just need to get them. They're not being mass-produced anywhere, I don't think. So... Well, the belts are easy enough. In fact, what are the ratios? I don't even know how many labs I'm going to need. I will figure that out. Okay, there is the mining productivity finished. So what I'm actually going to do is dismantle all of these labs. I don't want these labs running anymore. Okay. There we go. In fact, I will also request any labs that got picked up there that I did not pick up myself. Labs are there. Let's just give me all of them. Okay. So, yes, what I was looking at. Each of these takes 60 seconds to go. That's not the right button. but they run at 250% speed, and I can even speed them up further with beacons, and I can also like slow them down with the productivity modules. So I'm going to need to work out a little module so I know exactly how many labs I'm going to need. So let's do that now. Alright, so with a like full speed module like this, in fact we could get it going a little bit faster if we swapped out the productivities in the middle for more speed. We'll leave it for productivity for now though, but we have a research speed of 21.7, which is alarmingly fast actually. So we can ignore the productivity because we don't really care how many research bits get done. We're aiming to use the 1,000 per minute. So that's not what we don't need to worry about the productivity there. But so each one of these uses, or we'll just make sure. Okay, 30 seconds for these ones. I'll have to double check to see if that goes up. Let's see. Let's queue some of these. Okay, it looks like it's staying at 30 seconds. So it takes 30 seconds to go through one science pack, and they're all ones, aren't they? Yep, okay. So 30 seconds to use one science pack. So it will use 0.33 per second. But at a crafting speed, or a research speed rather, of 21.7. So we do 21.7 divided by 30. That's 0.72333 per second it uses. And we need to use 1,000 per minute. So that's per second. If I multiply that by 60, that will give us 43.4 per minute of each science pack that this is going to use. And then I just need 1,000 divided by that to give us 23 and a bit labs. That's not too bad. Of course, I also need to make sure that each of these are properly fed. Now, I'm wondering if I can do something along these lines. Alright, so with belts and inserters like that, what we can do, we've got 4 belts coming in, and that should be able to cater for each of our 7 science packs. Remember, 1,000 per minute is slightly less than half a belt. So these carry 22.5 per second. 22.5 times 60 is actually 1,350 per minute. So we don't need to worry about having more than half a belt of each one. And I think what I can do is something like this. Express Underground belt is in the way. Ah, yes, that shouldn't actually be there. That should be there in order for that system to work. Yeah. Alright, so I think we have a suitable science module here. Now these are running at a productivity of 1.2, so we're actually going to make 1,000 times 1.2 per minute actual research units. I don't know, like, whatever one of these is, and we need 1,800 of them for that one. But yeah, we're going to do, 1,200 of those per minute. I think I'm happy with that. So yeah, I just need to feed my 7 sciences in on these belts. Let me set up like a nice little input. Alright, so I've got a system there, 7 belts in, and they all feed through. Okay, so that's going to be my blueprint, I guess. I'll just put like one little output belt on the ends just to make it a little bit easier to see when it's managed to feed all the way through. I've already got a bunch of chests for the stations. Let's see. Anything else I need to take with me? You know, I don't think there is. Shall we go? Right, so first things first, I need to build an output station at each science. So let's come. We'll do them in order. So we'll start with red and green. So I need to make my way back out there. that should do us nicely. I'll make sure to turn this back to a manual. And I guess what we want to do is actually sit in this one. So actually I already have rails on me, that's fine. Let's come down this way, I think. Okay, so I need a station. Let's move back a little bit. Alright. Station. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. And that will have a train. In fact, let's give it 2 trains. Now, I don't yet know exactly how many wagons I need. Science stacks to 200. So one of these will be able to carry, what's that? Well, 40 times 200 is 8,000 science. Yeah, so I think a 1-1 train is going to be absolutely fine for these purposes. Let's just get 2 of those on like that. And all I need to do then is zoop and zoop. I should really buffer it though, so let's do that. Okay, then I guess I should make this train green. Okay, so we've got a green train. And you know what? I'll even make the station green as well. Now, the station needs to be fueled. Not like that. Okay, so this one here is going to be a fuel me station. This inserter will empty rocket fuel, or rather nuclear fuel, from the fuel me train into the box, which is what's going to enable that station, and fuel the green science train. Okay, so they will both merge and come back up north, where I think... Yeah, I'm just going to do that. I think I'll sort out the signals in a little bit. Now, I don't yet know exactly which way this wants to go. I need some landfill. Ugh. There we go. Okay, as I said, sort out the signals later. Right, let's do red science. And there we go. So, I just need to rinse and repeat that for the other sciences and make sure everything is powered up. Let's do that. Well, I was just about to say all right. Apparently not all right. Huh. Yes, so as I've been doing that, of course, everything's been turning on. And apparently I've just found a second issue. The first issue is that with everything switched on, we actually need considerably more power than we are producing. So I need to go and expand the nuclear area, which I have started. I've started them on a little bit of landfill, but apparently I need to call upon my Spidertron friends. So I guess we're going over this way first. Let's see, where else is actually in a danger zone at the moment? I think everywhere else is pretty good. I suppose I just didn't clear out enough area for this space science build. But yes, with the low power, we haven't quite been able to keep up with 1 per minute. There have been gaps over the last couple of hours. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that. Well, I guess we also get to finish off the series with a little bit of combat. Exciting. I think at least that clears us out safely from pollution range. Might want to check to see if there's any down there though. So I'll send the Spidertrons, or the Octotron, I'll send the Octotron on a little detour around that way there. Okay, and then I will get back on with the building of more power, and we'll come back when that's done. Okay, so some time has passed, and I've pretty much doubled our power production capabilities. I continued going up north, and then I messed up the landfill, so I built south instead. I'm just waiting for 2 more. Let's turn that off. 2 more steam turbines to be delivered. Yeah, and then following that, the last thing to do to switch this on is to get a belt in there. So we're currently working on 5.9 gigawatts. I think this should bring us up to about, well, in theory, 10.9 gigawatts, I think. I guess we'll see in a moment. Also, I have been continuing to do clearing with the Spidertron, which is up there at the moment. Let's go and see if there's any more to do. I have actually had a couple more attacks as things have been running for longer, particularly the space science, because there's a lot of oil stuff and smelting stuff in that. The pollution cloud has been growing, and we've been getting some attacks, but I've been patrolling with the Octotron, and things seem to be going all right so far. Okay, is that belt in there yet? No. That's going to be it, isn't it? Yeah, that's a belt. Okay, in other news, as well as each of our outposts with the various sciences being put onto trains. So, yeah, we've got the space science there, and there's the fuel me stop to fuel that train. Well, if you remember, I tore up these old labs because we're not doing anything with that anymore. But we've still got all of this infrastructure here at somewhere between 1 and 2 seconds. 1 and 2 science per second. So, and I have another train up here. This is going to be a sort of fill in the gaps train. Because, remember, I've calculated everything to 1,000 per minute with pretty tight tolerances. Space Science is the only one that's running at the moment. All of the others have backed up. But, and that is going pretty well, actually. There's been a couple of dropouts. But yeah, a dropout like that could be filled with like the original base's space science. So that is my hope. I'll work things up so that this train gets last priority. But with any luck, that should be good. Okay, slight issue here. These inputs are backwards. I'm going to have to do that by hand. So thank you, autosave. So I just need to slightly redesign this. Okay, and that should start fueling these. Oh, you don't have a... There you go. Does the one at the bottom have an input? Yes. Okay, so that will slowly start heating up and providing a little bit more power. Currently at 5.9 gigawatts, we'll see how high that gets. The next thing I want to do is sort out this train line. So I did consider making the whole thing two-way, but that's not really necessary, at least until somewhere around here. Only 2 trains are going to use it. Occasionally this train, which is, for some reason my stone is being a bit slow at the moment. Where is my stone going? I think much of it was all going to concrete for the new power stuff. But in any case, yeah, that train and the fuel me train, they're the only trains using that stretch. So instead what I'm going to do is make a series of passing places, just occasionally along here, that the trains can use to, well, pass each other. Okay, so around about here is where I want to build my lab setup. So from here I'm going to switch to some smaller passing places that will just allow... In fact, let me mark this area first up. Just reminds me I want something there. Yeah, so on the other side, the smaller passing places, they don't need to be that long. In fact, they could probably even be smaller than this. These are just to let the one-length trains pass each other. So let's actually make this a bit smaller, because it's only for one-length trains, or one trains, I guess. That will be plenty. Nothing is easy. There we go. No. Copy, not cut. Okay, then we just want some of these. On second thoughts, while there's space here and it looks central, it's actually really not very central to all my sciences. Here would be a more central place, down there. So I am actually going to swap these back out for the longer passing places. Okay, so this area where I am now is roughly where I'm going to put the lab setup. I haven't decided exactly where. Now, some of these rails, they have more than one train go along them anyway. So this one, you can see, goes along to purple, but also goes all the way up here to yellow science. So I still want passing places along here. These ones can be just the short ones, because these only have 1-1 trains on them, whether they be science trains or fuel trains. Apparently I did not bring enough signals with me. I really thought I did. Right, so this is where we're building our labs. So firstly, I need to put this down, I think. I guess I'll just pop it down there. Why not? Okay, so that's that. I guess let's connect that to power. Actually, I'm not sure what I'm doing for other things with power just yet, so I'll leave that there. Okay, I need a nice big junction here. So, actually, do I need a nice big junction? I don't need a nice big junction. I'm just going to have separate ins and outs, I think. Okay, an in and an out. Then, remember, I've got 8 trains. 7 of them are my 1-1 trains coming from the actual Megabase scale stuff, and one of them is a 1-7 train, which will take last priority to feed the labs, and that is going to the... that is coming from the starter base, I guess. So what I'm thinking is something a little like this. So my thought is something like this. If I have a staggered train station, even, words are hard, then I'll have my 1-7 train up there like that, and then this one here would be there, and then that one there would be there, and so on all the way up to that one there. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I need to straighten things out a little bit, but the idea is that this white So this will be the white science, so I've color-coded that, which corresponds to the last wagon over here is white. These are in order. Then I can do... If I take these out like that, I'll have my belt sort of go under there-ish. And then this one will attempt to put it on there as well, but of course it will already be full. Unless it isn't full. So that's my theory, at least. Let me work on that a little bit. Straighten out these stations so they're actually in line where they need to be. And I'll show you what I managed to work out. There we go. So that's all lined up now, and I've even tied it in with the science, which I will stop flashing by doing that. There we go. So without any need for splitters or special priority stuff, this should, almost by definition, prioritize the main Megabase builds and only send this train back like occasionally. Whoops, I didn't buffer that train though. Hang on. Okay, so let's get rid of these trains and we'll bring in the actual train. So we'll start setting up some schedules. So firstly we'll have our rainbow train. So that comes from all the way over here. And I haven't actually given this a name. So this one we'll call, let's call Rainbow Out. And let's see if I can remember how to do these things. There we go. Rainbow Out. So this train here, is going to go to Rainbow Out until, I guess just until you're full. Yeah. And then you go to Rainbow In, which is going to be this station here. Oh god, I'm not typing all of that out again. 1 second. Copy. Paste. Rainbow In. There you go. Okay, so this train will then go to Rainbow In until... I'm going to set up some circuit conditions on this one. This is going to be a bit of a special case. Slight change of plan. I'm going to do it based on cargo contents. So I'm not going to wait for any of them. Sorry, I'm not going to wait for all of them to empty. I'm going to say if any of these science packs is empty. So if you run out of reds, but you still have loads of greens, then still go home. Right, so reds, greens, military, chemical, production, utility, or science. Whoops. Or science. Then we go back and get some more, and we wait until we're full. Okay, so I can set you to automatic now. I will mention, by the way, I can't see it from here, but that last carriage, the space science, I have limited that so only 8,000 sciences in it. So it's the same as the carriages. Okay, let's do reds next. You don't have to go very far, but there you go. Right, so you are going to be automation out. You're going to be automation in. And this train here is going to be very, very simple. We go to automation out until you're full, and then automation in until you're empty. Easy. Go. And then... oh, hang on. You're in the way. Also, I haven't done any signals here. Okay, signals first before everything crashes into each other. Okay, and then I'm just going to... Actually, I'll just send you home. And things should work themselves out. Okay, so there comes the red train. That'll start unloading its stuff. And this should actually be... Yeah, so you'll see then that this one here isn't emptying actually at all anymore. Because it's this one here that was emptying. So yeah, our rainbow train has lowest priority, even though I sent for it first. Okay, I have not switched on the science yet, don't worry. Also, I will limit this to 4 stacks. So this train should actually empty something. In fact, it'll empty all of them at the same time, and it will go back for more science from the starter base. How much have we got left in there? That is going to take forever. Well, I'll let it do its thing. Right. I'm going to continue setting up the train schedules, and I will be back. Some time has passed. So, I had to go and actually do a thing when I said that I was going to set the trains up. But then when I actually came back to Factorio, I had a lot of stuff left to do. Not big stuff. If it was big stuff, I would have recorded it and I would have shown you. But I had just bug fixes, basically. Some literal bug fixes, because with the rockets we've been launching, our pollution cloud is still encroaching on the biters. So what I'm going to do on that front, I would hope by now, particularly if you've been following the series, you agree that, you know, the biters are not a threat to me. I can take out bases easily. So we can do it with the Octatron. Yeah, so I can just waltz the Octatron right into the middle of a base and have that base go away. Frame rate tanks a little bit, but... Oh. Okay, I have... Yeah, so this is my issue. Okay, well, while the Octatron is dealing with that base, let's go and... Oh dear, this is an expensive attack. Oh dear. Oh, we've got some down here as well. Yeah. So, Octatron can deal with bases. I can deal with attacks. In fact, I can deal with bases. It's easy to forget because I don't actually go out and attack anything. But my power armor is ridiculously strong. So I'm not even going to bother firing. I'm just going to let my lasers take care of this, and I can just wander straight through a base. And I think if I stay still, I can be overwhelmed. But as long as I move... But I don't even have to pay attention to where I'm moving, really. There you go. Oh, missed one. Yeah, so I am hoping by now you agree that bases are not a threat to me. But these constant little attacks are starting to get annoying. So I'm not ever so fond of doing this. Oh, they're taken out of radar as well. Not ever so fond of doing this, but I'm going to use a command. And this is a command I believe will destroy all enemies. So I'll stand here, right next to this base so I can see it. Let's pop in the command. And this will probably freeze my game for a little bit, but we'll see. Also, pay attention to frames per second. We'll see if that goes up. Or UPS. Currently at about 120. Do that command. Cannot execute command. I'm missing something. I'm missing a bracket. Let's try this. Oh, autosave. Perfect timing. Okay, game has frozen. Okay, and we've given ourselves back about 20 frames per second. Yeah, they still appear on the map, but they're not actually there. Okay. So, now I need to fix up what damage has been done by the biters. Let's see, what are we missing over here? A radar, I can make that, and a bunch of miners. In other news, while I was running around bug fixing, so it was mostly just little things like belts facing the wrong way and such, I've made a couple of small changes. Firstly, you can see here that I've given each train 3 outputs. 2 would have been fine, I just didn't necessarily trust the throughput from a single inserter. Otherwise everything works the same, it just feeds down onto 1/2 of one belt. These chests are all limited, some of them are currently oversupplied, but they are limited such that each group of chests contains maybe just a little bit more than 8,000 science, which is 1 train's load. The same is true back at base over here. These are limited so that between the 6 they have about 8,000 science. Not always perfect, like the space science stacks to 2,000, so there's actually 2, 4, 6, well, there's 12,000 space science right there. But it's as close to 8,000 without going below that I can get it. I have also slightly tweaked the circuit conditions over here. I have no light over here, hopefully you can see this. So I've added in a circuit condition that reads these belts and basically will not actually launch the rocket unless the belt is empty. So it won't launch things unnecessarily. It should still be launching them 1 per minute in the long run. I have oil switched on at the moment. Yeah, I've expanded that area a little bit. I don't think I have any other news or things to say other than to turn it on. Shall we? Now, I do have a backlog in my trains and on the stations itself. Basically, the entire factory had shut down. We're down to 2.5 gigawatts, 2.4 gigawatts. And most of that, I think, is just idle draw from beacons. But okay, I've just spotted an issue with this. These belts are backwards. But yes, eventually that will run down, and then we'll have a look at the production statistics after that. Okay, all of the labs are running now. Remember, we're not doing science anywhere else, so let's see if I can... These should all be exactly the same. Over the last minute, we are using 1.1 thousand per minute. We'll see how long that keeps up. I'm also going to need to keep queuing up sciences. Alright, well that was Follower Robot Count 100. So we've been going for a little while. I've just popped back to the main base briefly at exactly the wrong time, as it turns out, just to help get a little bit more copper into this one here. I don't know what that was. Yeah, because the main base's copper supply is kind of naff at the moment. I mean, the copper supply is fine, it's just not all of it is getting to the end of the bus. So I've just sneaked in another line there, hoping to use some of this little bit of copper that's right here. Okay, so I am going to head back over to the Science Megabase. While we're on the way, let's have a look at some things. That's where I'm going. Okay, so yes, we have been running for a few hours now. If I open up this 10-hour thing, that's when we turned on the Megabase. About, what's that? An hour and a half, give or take. Well, that was 5.3 hours ago. That was 6.8 hours ago. So yeah, about an hour and a half in, we had a bit of an issue with blue science. Now, I did see the issue coming, so it didn't last for very long, but I didn't get around to fixing it before it started eating into our science per minute. So what I did to fix it, where is blue science? Blue science is down here. There was actually a number of small issues. Firstly, well, the issue presented itself as not all of these machines were running because we weren't getting enough red circuits in. Red circuits were slow, firstly, because plastic was slow. So I bumped up the number of plastic machines and threw in a couple of extra oil refiners as well. That's fixed the plastic problem. But then we weren't making enough circuits to have all of the red circuit machines running. So I snuck in another circuit machine here. But then we didn't have enough copper cable coming to the end. So I upgraded this to the ultimate fast belt. And down here, I threw in another couple of copper cable producers. That seems to have now balanced itself out, and blue science is fine. You can see all of these machines are running. In fact, it's filling up the train again now. There were another couple of tiny optimizations I made here and there. I honestly don't remember what they were. You'll also have noticed, I should point out, this big dip here. That is literally just as I thought I paused it when I went to switch on my recording again to do this little segment. Turns out I hadn't paused the game, I just paused the science, so I accidentally switched off science for a little bit. But otherwise, I'm fairly comfortable that this is running at 1,000 per minute. You can see that's the consumption side over there. The production side, it's not quite as steady, particularly with the space science. But if I go to, well, if I go to that 10-hour mark, in fact, that won't give me the right numbers. If I go to the 1-hour mark, yeah, you can see that for some reason automation science in particular has a lot of up and down, but averages out as 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 11, 1111, and 983 per minute. So space science is not very, what's the word? Not very reliable, but it seems to be holding, I think. Okay, so our rainbow train is back at base at the moment, actually. What are we waiting on here? Space science. Yes, that's why I actually went over there to try and help out with the copper situation. I promise I haven't done this at all. I'm just going to preempt that and bring it back to the in station. I also changed a slight thing here. Rather than have the rainbow train be just an overflow, I've also made it act a bit like a buffer, which I think should prevent it from travelling back and forward all the way to the starter base quite as often. But yeah, I think on the whole this has been pretty successful. Yeah, so I'm running at max speed. If I zoom all the way in, I can sometimes get up as high as about 80 UPS. I've also taken care of all of the biters with the kill command that we saw earlier. I've also made a point of making sure that the pollution cloud we're making is all explored as well, because even though I killed them all, I still got a couple of attacks afterwards. So I think pollution was spreading, generating new chunks with biters in them, and then they were attacking. So I've had to do a couple of little runs like that. Some other quick stats. My uranium setup has backed up, but in a sort of fail-safe way, so it will keep going with the power. As for power itself, probably overbuilt things a little bit. Don't need 11 gigawatts, need 7 apparently, but that's fine. That's pretty steady actually. It has slowly crept up since I've switched on the Megabase, but that's fine. In terms of rockets launched, my original silo has launched 250 rockets exactly. As for the new ones, we've got from this one here, that has launched 507 rockets, and that one has launched 464. Not perfectly in sync because of testing and things going wrong from time to time. I don't think there's much more to say really. Yeah, because of the speed. See, so that's 7 hours. I've had this running for most of like the day, I guess, so far at least. So yeah, I've probably been just leaving the game in the background somewhere between 5 and 6 hours, periodically coming back and just queuing up more sciences. But yeah, I think we'll call that a success and we'll finish that there. Okay, so with that as a close to Factorio Megabase Season 2, I hope you have enjoyed it. I am certain we will be back in Factorio for more shenanigans at some point. But for now, I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break from Factorio. I've really been enjoying Dyson Sphere Program over on my Twitch channel, link in the description, all the usual places. So I think I know enough about that game now in order to have a Dyson Sphere Program series here on YouTube. So that's probably what we'll be doing next. Depending how much time I've got with university and other things as well, I might end up doing a second series alongside it. I haven't yet decided exactly how I'm going to go about doing that just yet. But of course, before I finish, there is something very important to do. I have some people to thank. So throughout this series, I've been supported by these lovely patrons and Twitch subscribers: Sharlock93, Silo or Silo, I still can't remember how to pronounce that, Kalundin, Jafe, and apologies, I know there's supposed to be an underscore in there, but the mod doesn't give me underscores, Marcus Bell, Daniel, Hammond, Ice Hockey Player, and as well to David Price, Arcom, Ali Pasha Sadri, Bryn, Forbes, Containment. Forbes is only supposed to have one S. I'm not doing very well at this. Containment Failure and Spaceman Spiff. If you would also like to support the channel, you can follow links in descriptions to Patreon rather. I do actually have YouTube membership set up, although I don't do that. Or of course you can subscribe to me over on Twitch. Supporters over a certain value will have something in the next series named after them as well. If Dyson Sphere Program manages to pull the finger out and let us rename systems, maybe you'll have an entire solar system named for you. Also, supporters of any level are, of course, able to access my channel Discord, where you can chat with me, chat with my other supporters as well. But in any case, thank you very much to these people in particular, but also thank you to you. Every subscriber I get helps me, well, feel a little bit better about the amount of time I put into these things. But for one last time for this series, I am going to say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon.